Let me know if this sounds a little too familiar. It's like 11 p.m. You tell yourself, okay, just one more scroll on my phone, and suddenly an hour has vanished. Poof! Or maybe for you, it's that bag of chips that just calls your name every single time you feel stressed. So you try to fight it, right? You use all your willpower, and it works. For a couple days, you feel on top of the world, and then, bam, you crash. The old habit comes roaring back, and sometimes it feels even stronger than before. It's just so frustrating.
So what is going on here? Why does willpower, the one thing we're always told to lean on, seem to totally ghost us right when we need it most? Well, we're going to get into this, because the science on this is actually really clear. We are fighting the wrong battle. Completely.
Here's the tough truth. You're probably setting yourself up to fail before you even start. But, and this is a big but, there is a way out. There's a 5-step behavioral framework that basically hacks the core reason our brains build habits in the first place. And in this explainer, I'm going to walk you through exactly how it works.
All right, first things first. We have to completely destroy the myth that you just don't have enough discipline. That is not the problem. The real issue is that we think willpower is this endless well we can just draw from, when it's actually much more like a phone battery that gets drained throughout the day.
Just look at this. This chart is basically your entire day. At 9 a.m., you're at 100% fully charged. But every little decision you make, saying no to that donut at work, forcing yourself to answer a tough email, dealing with traffic, it drains a little bit of that battery. So by 9 p.m., you've got almost nothing left in the tank. And that's why our worst habits almost always show up at night.
So if just trying harder isn't the answer, then what is? Well, to figure that out, we need to look at the invisible system that's really pulling the strings. It's called the habit loop, and understanding this is the absolute key to making a change that actually sticks.
And get this system is ridiculously powerful. Research shows that up to 40% of everything you do, every single day, isn't a conscious decision you're making. Nope, it's a habit. It's your brain running on autopilot, using this hidden loop.
So what is this loop? It's really just a simple 3-part pattern hardwired into our brains. It starts with a cue, that's the trigger. The cue leads to a routine, that's the bad habit itself. And the routine gives you a reward, the payoff that tells your brain, hey, remember this, let's do it again.
Think about it like this. The cue is your phone buzzing. The routine is you immediately checking it. The reward is that little hit of dopamine or that momentary distraction from what you were doing. Cue, routine, reward. This exact loop is firing off hundreds of times a day, and you don't even realize it.
And this right here, this is the single most important part. This is where everybody goes wrong. We fail because we only focus on the middle part, the routine. We try to just stop the behavior, but we totally ignore the cue that started the whole thing and the reward that makes it stick. And that, my friends, is a guaranteed recipe for failure.
Okay, so we get the problem now, right? It's the whole loop. So let's get to the solution. This is what I call the 5-step takedown. It's a super practical framework designed to help you take apart that habit loop and finally put yourself back in the driver's seat.
Here's the game plan. These are the 5 steps. First, you've got to identify the real cue. Second, you make that cue invisible. Third, you increase the friction, make it harder to do. Fourth, you find a substitute routine. And finally, number 5, you figure out the true reward your brain is actually after.
Let's kick it off with step 1. Now, identifying the real cue is, I'm not going to lie, the hardest part of this whole thing, but it's also the most important. See, a cue isn't just a vague feeling like, I'm stressed. It's the specific thing that happened right before you felt stressed. What was it?
To figure it out, you have to become a detective. Seriously. For 1 week, every time you feel the urge for that bad habit, pull out your phone and note down these things. What time is it? Where are you? What are you feeling? And who's around you? I promise you, after a few days, a pattern is going to jump right out at you. You'll find your trigger.
So once you know your cue, you're ready for step 2. And this is where we stop trying to rely on our totally drained willpower. Instead, we're going to use something called environmental design. It is so simple, but it is so effective.
The whole idea is just this: out of sight, out of mind. It's that simple. If your cue is seeing cookies on the kitchen counter, the solution is not to stare at them all day and try to resist. No! The solution is to put the cookies in a cupboard where you can't see them. If you never see the cue, the whole habit loop never even gets a chance to start.
Okay, on to step 3.
Increase the friction. This is what you do when you can't make a cue totally invisible. The goal here is just to make the bad habit a little bit, even just 5%, harder to actually do.
This slide shows it perfectly. Having your phone charger right next to your bed, that's zero friction. It makes scrolling late at night totally effortless. But what if you move that charger to the kitchen? Now you've added a layer of effort. And believe it or not, that tiny bit of friction is often just enough for your conscious brain to wake up, interrupt the autopilot, and go, wait, do I really want to get out of bed for this?
Step 4 is absolutely critical. You can't just delete a bad habit. Your brain hates a vacuum. It needs something to fill that space, so you have to replace it. When that cue hits, your brain is still expecting a reward, so you need to give it a new, better routine that delivers a similar good feeling.
Now look at what is not on this list. If your cue is feeling bored at your desk, a good substitute isn't just work harder. That doesn't satisfy the brain's craving for a distraction. But a quick 5-minute walk, taking 10 deep breaths, a fast puzzle on your phone, those things can give your brain the mental break it's looking for, and it completely derails the old bad habit.
And that leads us right into the final step. Number 5, isolate the true reward. This is another area where we get it all wrong. We mistake the bad habit itself for the real underlying need that it's actually trying to fulfill. Just look at these examples here. You might think you smoke because you're craving nicotine, but what if what you really crave is just a 5-minute break and some social connection outside? You don't actually crave the junk food, you crave relief from your anxiety. When you can pinpoint the true need, you can find a healthier way to get that reward, one that works even better than the old habit ever did.
So there you have it. We've gone through the science of why we fail and the 5-step framework to succeed. Now comes the important part, turning all this knowledge into actual action. Because at the end of the day, the secret to breaking bad habits isn't gritting your teeth and having more willpower. It's about being a better architect of your own life. It's about setting up your world so that the bad habit is the hard choice and the good habit is the easy one. And that brings us to my challenge for you. Don't try to change everything all at once. That's a recipe for burnout. Just pick one habit, the one that bothers you the most. And today, not tomorrow, today, I want you to apply step 2. Go make its cue invisible. Hide the junk food, move the charger, delete the app off your phone. So what's it going to be? What's the one habit you're starting with?